I find women's health so interesting in a not funny or interesting sort of way lately. And it really frustrates me and sometimes even angers me when I talk to women about what is happening in their lives with their bodies and how they feel about their bodies and how the kind of response they get from friends, from family members, from even doctors when they talk to doctors about what's going on with them. And so I don't know, maybe today is just going to be kind of like a little chat that we have about all of these kinds of things, with me making some observations and maybe also sharing some suggestions about what to do when you're faced with this kind of, I don't know if it's resistance or ignorance or what, right? So it is more and more common when I talk to women like you that you tell me things around this idea of just wanting to find yourself, like actually getting to this space in life, this time, and it happens like over 40, closer to 50. I'm really noticing it. Like, I don't know what happens to us when we hit 50. I joke and say that, men are allowed to have a midlife crisis, and we're not. But it seems like we get to the space where our kids are in high school or going off to college or just have gone off to college or moved out of the house to pursue whatever their life's dreams are, right? And we wake up one day and we realize that we've spent... look in the mirror today. And have you ever thought this? Like, I have spent my whole life for other people. I've raised my kids. I've been a great wife or a good wife, whatever kind of wife. But I have dedicated myself to raising my family and being a great partner. And I've given so much to my job and the people who I lead and the people who lead me. And where am I in all of this, right? And I know for me, I had that kind of, oh shit moment when our youngest daughter was going off to college. And I'll never forget when it hit me like a ton of bricks. I got out of the car, short story here. I got out of the car in the parking lot at the college. I was going in for my day. Thought I had it all together that day, right? And I'm walking up to the building. Beautiful campus, by the way. I just envisioned it as I was talking about this. One of my very favorite places. I have very fond memories of the people and that place. Over my near 30-year career, it stands out. But it was also just a physically beautiful campus. And I remember seeing the vast expanse of that gorgeous campus in front of me and hearing the waterfall. And I don't know, I was kind of lost in my thoughts. And one of the faculty members in my department just happened to get out of her car and was walking in, around the same time. And she was like, Dr. Dottie, how are you doing today? And it just hit me. I started bawling. I was clearly not doing well today. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I think it's hitting me that my daughter left for college. And my shopping buddy, my mini me, my companion is gone. And the gravity of my child leaving the home and everything that came with that just hit me all at once. And I say that to say this, that is a very common space that we get to, I think, as women, because we've spent so much time focused on our careers and everyone else in our lives, we lose ourselves over those years. And it's not that we are resentful. It's not that we're not in a happy marriage. It's not that we don't love our job. It's not that we don't love our kids. And it's not that we're not glad that they've even left the nest, right? But there's a piece of us and there's a moment where I think it hits us that it's what do I do now? How do I reinvent, if you will, myself and live for me? Because I've lived for so many other people for so long. including our jobs, that I don't know who I am and what I like and what I want for me, what is happy for me. And it's in that space oftentimes that when I talk to women like you, we're coming into that space where we're like, okay, it is time for me to do something for me, but I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know how to do this on my own. Now you combine that with the natural occurring kinds of changes that are going on in our body biologically and chemically, and it feels like an onslaught of emotion, an onslaught of change, internal and external. It's just a lot, right? And I think that's where, like the hysteria, and, we can go back to the history of menopause and how we were treated medically and psychologically too. And it does feel like you're kind of going crazy, right? But in all of that, what I find is there's a common thread of, I don't know what it is that I'm looking for necessarily. I don't know what it is that's going to need. I don't know what all of the change is going to need to be in my life, but I know I'm on the precipice of change and I need some guidance. I need support. I need accountability. I need help. And here's where I think it is really key for us to understand. That feels very overwhelming. And it feels very tangled and convoluted and difficult to manage our way through to a space where it's like, okay, I know what I need to do, right? And that is totally normal. I think we need to normalize the fact that this is like the male midlife crisis. That is natural. That is normal. We need to stop hiding it. And we also need to, the medical, the healthcare industry, the weight loss industry, the women's wellness industry, counseling, therapy, every bit of the entire ball game of what is out there to help needs to acknowledge that it's not only normal, but we've got to stop hiding it. We've got to start talking more about it. And I know lately a lot of people, even some really big names out there, Oprah for one, all of a sudden it seems like they're all talking about menopause. And that's great. I don't think there can ever be enough conversation around menopause. I talk about it all the time. What disappoints me is, one, it takes, millionaires hitting menopause, famous people hitting menopause before we talk about it and before there's a quote unquote movement around it. That's the first thing that frustrates me. The second thing is why does it always have to be about menopause? As if that is, again, there's this negative connotation, even though a lot more people are talking about, there's this negative connotation around the change. And oh my goodness, like mom is crazy, right? Like, oh, she's going through the change. The change is only part of the complete picture, in my view. And yes, because of that menopausal change and the hormones that are happening, the biology does need to be addressed in some pretty specific ways that I think we do a piss poor job of in this industry caring for women. But there's more to it than that. There's also, we're stepping into a changing season of life in a lot of other ways outside of our hormones. And I think we need to address all of that. I think we need to be more open to normalizing all of that. And I think we need to take more care to not have so much shame around it. Even it can be small things. Like I was talking to a woman last week, and when I asked her, she'd shared some things about, what she wanted to change. And so often as it comes up in these conversations, it came up that, she wanted to be more comfortable in her clothes. There was this whole piece around her wardrobe. And again, this comes up in conversation with you guys all the time. And she said to me, I want to go back to that place where I dressed to express myself. And I said, oh, that's really interesting. What do you mean by that? And she said, I want to dress to express myself, not to hide myself anymore. And I feel like now dressing isn't fun because it's only to shield and hide and conceal my body and conceal who I am on the inside. And I was like, whoa, that is really profound. But at the same time, it is such a common chord. It's such a common thread. She put words very eloquently to something that so many of us feel. Our clothes are and should be and have been potentially at different times in our past. They've been an expression of who we are. They've been a material vocalization to the external world of how we feel and what we like and our rebellion and our conformity or not. And so many different things. Our clothes have been an expression of who we are on the inside. And at this stage in life, for so many women, it did for me too. It becomes a way to hide, to conceal, to make smaller, to try to literally physically make us appear smaller, right? The joke about wearing black all the time. And my wish for every woman that I work with, excuse me, is that I can help you get back to a place where your clothes make you loud and proud, if that's how you want to express yourself. Your clothes make you feel beautiful. They make you articulate. They put you and everyone around you in touch with your emotions. And, I say I'm not a woo-woo guru, but damn, I want you all to feel that again. I don't want you to ever go to your closet thinking that you have to pick clothes first and foremost for them to hide you and make you quiet and small. So I'll end there today. Thanks so much for being here with me on this day that I just kind of rambled and ranted. And I hope you found something that you could relate to and connect with in today's chat. I'll see you back here next time.